This is a celebration podcast, celebration of life, New Year, some good stuff, and Will doing what Will does, which is, y'all know, Mr. Dancing Machine. So we want to welcome you to 2022, the first episode. We're back in full effect. We are back. Clearly, I see that the disrespect is real. We are going to be continuing to bring you the best of the best as we grow in this podcast this year, and as we continue to develop who we are as podcasters. So welcome. If this is your first time listening, Happy New Year, and you are listening to The Culture Gumbo with Shakira
and Will.
Or Wildress, or whatever you want to call them.
I'm Will today because the IRS might make me want to taxes for Wildress, and they got to get off my back.
Listen. I ain't got money, fam. That ain't trademark, so keep your coins. They out to get you. So we want to start off the show with talking about, of course, since we're in this new year, the 12th day of January.
Yes, sir.
How was your holidays? Because they all go back to back, right? Thanksgiving, then you're like, dang, I'm eating again. It's Christmas. And now we like, Happy New Year. And then we're on to the next.
Yeah, it's kind of like Happy Thanksgiving, Christmas. You know what I mean?
Right. Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that stuff.
With everything, my family still believes that there's a pandemic. You know, I can't speak for everybody else's family, so we're still very careful. You know, I had a couple of my siblings here. Got to speak to some of my other siblings and talk to family. We kind of just spent a lot of time together. I think this year, with so much loss that we took in the last 2 years, it was just important for us to kind of be together and just chill. We got to cut up, you know what I mean? We kind of got to like be around each other and just be happy and peaceful, which I enjoyed. New Year's, I felt like an old man because New Year's, I think we talked New Year's. Actually, New Year's Eve, man, by like 10:30, 11 o'clock, I was like, yo, just let me know when they shoot them because I'm gonna take a nap. So but it was cool, man. You know, I got to be home. Good weather down here. So how was yours?
Don't rub the good weather in, though. So I left Nashville and went to see my family for Christmas. I stayed here for Thanksgiving. Last year, I didn't have that opportunity to go see them at all. I decided, due to COVID, I just was going to lay low and make my own meal and kind of have a nice quiet Thanksgiving and Christmas, have some conquito. This year I couldn't engage in conquito, but it was very nice seeing. I really went to go see my mom because she hasn't seen me like since maybe the beginning of 2021. So it was like important that I went. I don't have one of those families that's like that great, like we just bugging out, laughing. Okay, so I don't want my family members to get offended because we did do like some karaoke, some drinks flowed, not on my end, but on their end as always. And but I don't have that like, we're going to play some games and I don't know. There's certain families that I always envision or picture, or there's like friends of families that I know if I go to their house for holidays, it's going to be like, it's a party all night and everybody just end up crashing on the floor next to each other. You wake up like, oh, you know, we you know, one of those things. So
I don't want to get into Mr. Shrew because I said there's so many of us and I'd be a liar if I said that, you know, like we definitely, you know, we ain't no fucking Full House. You know
no, but you got a big family. Like I haven't had a big family since like 85, you know? So like we don't have family reunions, none of that kind of stuff. So it's like, it's a different kind of
Yeah.
So I sometimes I have those moments where I'm like, I wish I had like one of those really big families and everybody's just, but at the same time, I still enjoy it with the intimate close, my brother, sister, their significant others, and make the most of it because we know people not lasting that long. So if I
Yeah.
get any memory with them, that's the best memory.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. It's cool and it's slightly overrated at the same time because everybody pictures, oh, you're from a big family. Everybody pictures, oh, it's Coco going around the house and this and that. And that. Nah, we're all happy to be together in the same vicinity, but we still doing our own thing and we come together. Like we all got gifts for each other this year. Like everybody got everybody a gift, which was different because before it would just be like, if you can do this and that and the other, but like there was a limit.
Oh, so no, normally that's our thing. Everybody gets everybody.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. So and that's what we did because there's so many of us, and everybody
And
is
it's
in
difficult when you got a big family. It's like, hey, I'm about to drop $1,000 on,
right,
like
right.
even if it's nice little gifts, it all adds up.
Yeah, so it was a pretty penny for everybody. I mean, it wasn't too big of a deal, but we got to be around each other. We got to spend that time. Breakfast is always dope. You know what I'm saying? Like Pops always cooks breakfast, and then
See, I like that. Those things, like wake
yeah,
up in the morning and one of the family members always got, everybody come eat, wake
yeah.
up. I love that whole
Music
aspect of it.
playing. You know what I'm saying? Smoke a little weed. It was a vibe. It was medicinal, so just in case, whatever.
Well, there's so many states that it's legal. It don't matter if it's recreational. Um, but yeah, so that's good. If y'all watching or listening, share what's your favorite time, or maybe you don't have that family, or maybe you have Friendsgiving. And I can't wait to host a Friendsgiving. No lie, I can't wait to host a Friendsgiving. Because that's gonna be dope, and it'll just be my friends, and we all I can't wait. But I want the space. I want a house or something.
I've learned in therapy that I'm a hopeless romantic, and I found out that I want to be the person that hosts Thanksgiving and Christmas. But I found out I want to be the person that does that because I don't like going to nobody else's house.
Oh, you're the person that you can't get out the house. Okay.
I'm a homebody, like because
Yeah.
I don't like to be bothered, and when I go to other people's house, I'm the person that like everybody's like, oh, you don't like the party? No, I'm the person I'll go sit in the corner. If you got that one chair in your house, it's like the single chair, like that rocket chair. That's me. Like
that's me.
I go sit in the corner. Everybody come talk to me. So I'm like, if I'm hosting it at my crib, it's easier because like you're.
But you want people to leave their house to come to yours.
Because my house is always gonna be popping. Like, come on, yo. Y'all see every time we start the episode, yo, who got the music blasting in the background? You know what I'm saying? You watching this podcast right now, and you see Shakira got the fly background. Mine is black, you know what I'm saying? Because my green screen ain't came in yet. Well, let me ask you, you know what I'm saying? Who you coming to kick it with? You know what I'm saying? You might, yo, Shakira, come to Wheelhouse, because Wheelhouse gonna be popping.
That's all right, as long as I get my invitation, whatever.
As long as you ain't got the COVID, I don't care.
No, I make sure you gotta show now. You gotta show people houses like knock knock and put the COVID test next to the window. Like it's me, I'm free. Like
that's one thing I did notice. Like I had a couple friends was like, yeah, we all had COVID. I was like, y'all didn't do the check before, but
I tried to get a test before I left here and I couldn't. And I didn't get
sneaking up on people now.
What?
COVID out here sneaking up on people.
No,
now.
for real. So, because I didn't have any symptoms, but I just wanted to be safe before going to see my family. And it was like, there's no test. No, So when I did get it, I was like, what? But it wasn't from being around them. It had to be before I got with them. But thank God they're fine. I'm fine. We're good. It's real out here. So y'all be careful. So speaking of 2022 in this new year, can't believe I'm saying 2022, like, oh,
it's crazy.
Makes me feel so old. But we want to talk about a little bit of goals, right? I'm one of them people, I don't believe in resolutions. maybe when I was younger, it was like, here's my resolution, you know, but it's like, that's a bunch of BS. Your resolution will probably be for the first 2 to 3 months. And then after that, life happens and you forget about it. So focusing more on what are your goals, or what do you hope to accomplish by the end of this year or throughout this year? What does that look like for you, Will?
So, you know, everybody who knows me knows how rough the past few years were. You know, I lost a lot of close people to me. Some suddenly, you know, my Aunt Jackie, my best friend Pudge. For me, it's literally about not only living life, but making sure that I take care of the life that I have. Like everybody knows, like I can be a little like reckless and careless, and I'm always out there and I'm wilding out. And I'm like, this year, I'm like, I'm gonna slow down. Number one, making my health a priority. I want to slim down. I'm trying to get this ab for the ladies so I could take off my shirt and I can show y'all. What? Yeah, one ab. So here's the thing, right? I'm a teddy bear, you know what I'm saying? And the Jones love my fluffiness and my comfortness, right? But I'm also planning on settling down this year, whoever she is. I don't know who she is, but when I shoot my shot, learn how to spell my name because you're gonna be it, because I'm picky. But you know, the Jones ladies, they love to hug me and be around me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get my LL Cool J on before I retire. You know what I'm saying? Put my jersey up in the rafters. I want one ab so I can take my shirt off and I can perform. I'm bad, but I still want you to get. You still want to get
a little bit of the flubber.
Right. Okay. Like I'm like my tagline is like, let my fluff adorn you. Like when I come out with my underwear in my ab is let my fluff adorn you. You know what I'm saying? But I want you to see the abs so you know I'm healthy. So you know I'm out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm drinking. You know. Drinking my blend jet smoothies, you know what I'm saying, and trying to get it in, and it's a slow process, but I'm trying to do that. Professionally, I would love not only for our podcast to be out there, like I want to see us on the charts. You know, with the changes when we get to the podcast, which I'm sure you all have seen it, we've gone from just kind of reporting to just banter back and forth because Shakira be out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? She got stuff against Beyonce. She got stuff against all these beautiful people, and I got to defend these people. You know what I'm saying? So we're kind of just loosening up the range.
Let him tell y'all lies if he wants to. Anyway.
Don't let Shakira tell you nothing because Shakira was out here working the polls for George Bush.
Lies.
But I would love to see our podcast be on the charts, you know what I'm saying, with the rebrand and everything that we're doing. And I honestly pray by the end of the year that I can say that I'm actually preparing to be self-employed. I want to retire my mom. You know what I'm saying? I got dreams that everybody else has. And it was recently reminded to me that, like, yo, you had a dream before you had a job. And we get bogged down and we get caught up in so many things. You know what I'm saying? We're going to definitely take an episode to talk about that. I think therapy has been the greatest thing for me, but that's literally all I want. I want my personal professional career to prosper. I want to be healthy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to find Mrs. Stella Farrell, you know what I'm saying? So me and her could slow dancing some Phyllis Hyman while making waffles in the morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm there. You know what I mean? Get this one ab. You know what I'm saying? Make sure my teeth is all right in there. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm with you on all of that. Yeah, I definitely, and I do believe in also putting a vision to it, right? Like, so this weekend, my goal is to actually sit down and do my vision board. And the reason being is because sometimes you need, when you get discouraged like that, or you get unmotivated, you need to have something to look at, you know? And so a week ago or 2 weeks ago, well, no, last year sometime, I took down the vision board that I made in 2020. For 2021. And I looked on there and I didn't accomplish everything, but it was maybe at least 2 to 3 things on there that kicked off. I said I wanted to, you know, living wise and so forth. And that did happen. So I'm like, even if you create a vision board and that all of it doesn't happen, you still keep your eye on the prize, because some of that stuff is going to transfer over to maybe this year until I start checking those boxes. So for me, it's my goal this year is to stay consistent and stay disciplined in every area of my life. I have struggled with that for years, because if there's somebody out there like me, I get bored so easily. And if I'm doing the same thing over and over again, I want to shoot myself. No, I'm not going to commit suicide or anything. So nobody, like, we're not saying that. But what I'm saying is I get to the point where I feel dead inside, because I'm not moving, I'm not learning, I'm not growing. And that makes me like cringe up or go into this depression or whatever the case may be. And then I'm wondering what's wrong with me, but the reality is I love change. I just have to figure out now how to balance that change, because I don't need to change every 5 seconds, and that was my thing. If I don't like something, I'm going. If I don't do this, I'm going. But sometimes some things are meant for you to stay so you can learn. Some things are meant for you to leave because, like you said, you had a dream before you had a job. So some things are meant for you to pursue because that was already in your vision. So for me, 2022 is all about consistency and discipline. And last year was too, but I felt like I had to sneeze. Oh, okay, whatever. But now for me, that's the biggest thing. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to stay where I live or if I'm gonna move somewhere else. And I'm never afraid to move. That's definitely, but at the same time, my husband has to find me. So if he's not gonna find me here in Nashville, then he need to find me somewhere else. And I don't know where that's going to be, but he needs to. And plus, I don't want to be paying like $5,000 for rent. Like, it's just.
I want to poll the people who are going to watch this, and I want to ask them the discussion we had before of where you should go. We always talked about you should either go to like Atlanta or Charlotte. I think Charlotte is the perfect place for you.
I've been thinking South Carolina now.
But you work in media.
What does that have to do with anything? You can live where you want to live.
You
can travel. I love to travel.
Wait. What I'm saying is you work in media and you always say you want to be in the middle of everything.
But I also want to be near water and places I can walk and places that are natural. That's not true.
Bro.
But okay, whatever. We'll poll that. And
okay, Savannah.
Oh, I do like Savannah. I've been to Savannah and really like Savannah, honestly.
A lot of good weed in Savannah too.
Okay, I don't know about that. The only thing is Savannah is a swamp, like kind of remind me of DC. And so when you first go there, it has a smell.
So we gotta set you up on your dates first so we can determine exactly where you're gonna go and where you're gonna be. That's gonna be a whole show.
Back to the goals, back to what we're talking about. So 2022, also, I do plan on attempting to at least date. I will.
That's what I'm saying, yo, I got you. I'm gonna set you up.
Nah, son, I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
I'm gonna put you on an app. You know what I'm saying? I'm on
an app. I'm not saying which one, but I'm on an app. It's just that the people look like gorillas times 8. So it's like,
listen, tell them what app you want so the dudes can swipe.
No, son, no.
They swipe right? Is it swipe right or swipe left?
Anyway, okay, so it's relationship, a little bit of relationship goals, because I don't want to really be alone forever. And I think it's my time now. Like, I think that I'm ready. It's not really just about being in a relationship. I think that I'm mentally, emotionally, about to be physically ready, and getting my health in order, getting my exercise on, making sure, I want him to have something good to look at, because that's necessary. That's important, right? I mean, that's definitely important.
I mean, anyway. I would say that it's what's on the inside and not on the outside.
Who says that?
I know God said that in some scripture somewhere, because I be
It
hearing that.
is, but also you do want the outside to look a little appeasing, right? Like
I'm not saying nothing about that. I'm still kind of a heathen, so I'm not. I'm just saying for you because I know you heavier into the
yeah,
Lord.
he does have to be a godly man. Because
Godly man, don't get it wrong. I'm a godly man, but I still the Lord knows my heart. Y'all know what that is.
oh,
So
the most in scripture. Okay. Anywho, so we got a lot of goals. I definitely want to see this podcast flourish. And with
definitely.
us being consistent, I know for a fact, we gonna this year be able to announce, hey, this is sponsoring us and so forth, and start to really see people talking about us and wanting to get us out there and so forth. So I'm expecting that. I'm expecting also my other podcast to actually do well. That podcast is really because it's going to be a movement at some point,
you are motivating me actually I'm considering getting some homeboys together, some close friends of mine, and actually doing a podcast and just talking about things from a male perspective, because some of the things we talk about in our group chat, like it's really deep, and like
it needs to, like I can't speak from, and like you said, every man is different, right? So some people are going to say some things, and sometimes just based off of past experience or maybe women they hurt,
all my homeboys fight. So if you say something in the comments, if they come see you, they ain't got nothing to do with me.
I ain't got nothing to do with that either. So
I know.
But yeah, so anyway, let's get this show going, because clearly we have definitely talked about some things that matters. And we hope that you share with us, what are your aspirations in 2022? What are some of your goals? So we can hold each other accountable, because that's what Culture Gumbo is about. What did I say our tagline is? Dang, you forgot. Wow.
You didn't say what the new tagline is, Joe.
I did the other day on the phone. All right. Well, I don't remember anything that I say. Sometimes I just say things.
I be tuning things out.
We not about to do it right now, because y'all about to see me go off on Will, and I'm not gonna do that because the show didn't even start yet.
Can we get to our culture news, please?
All right. Our culture news. Go right ahead.
So just starting out, just a quick update. The killers of Ahmaud Arbery have been sentenced recently. If you did not see that, both the McMichaels were actually sentenced to life in prison with no parole and an additional 20 years, while William Bryan was actually sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole after 30 years. So the weird thing about it is that with William Bryan, they tried to say that he demonstrated grave concerns for what occurred and what should not have occurred, which in my mind, I really don't buy that, only because you're only showing that because you got caught. Like if you hadn't got caught, fam, you weren't going to show any kind of grave concern. But however, there actually is another trial that is actually set to start on February 7th, and that is the jury selection for the hate crime trial. Starts in federal court. So that's actually going to be with Glenn County. That's going to be independent from the Glenn County trials outcome, and also the district attorney also stated. They also stated they're going to be I can't think today. They're also going to be prosecuting Jackie Johnson also. So we're going to seek for updates for that, and we'll definitely continue to provide you for updates concerning that.
It's progress. It's not justice, but it at least is saying that judges or jury people are paying attention. That doesn't mean that this is going to go away right away, but we are seeing that people admitting that they're wrong, and that this didn't have to happen at all. And even if the fake crying on this thing, anyway,
I still get mad.
I do.
And when they're charged and they're guilty, and the fact that we all still collectively hold our breath to wait to see what the sentence is. Like the Capitol, the January 6th people, that sentencing is crap. I don't want to cover that, but yeah, I still get frustrated with that. But moving on, some sad news. Bob Saget legendary actor, stand-up comedian, actually passed away on January 9th, actually down here in Orlando in his sleep. Bob Saget is a legend. In my book, Bob Saget is a legend in my book. First of all, Bob Saget was from Philly. Bob Saget went to Temple University.
He did.
Bob Saget, it's so funny as an adult to know who Bob Saget was.
Yeah.
Comparison to watching Danny Tanner on Full House for all those years. Like, Bob Saget was really like a vulgar dude. Like, I had no.
Right. You ever watched his stand up?
I watched it once, and I thought it was kind of funny. But I guess I should have kind of known from Half Baked, but I didn't know that Richard Pryor was one of his mentors.
Oh, I believe that. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I was watching a couple articles to prepare for the show, and a couple different articles, and on two different interviews, he was saying like, yo, Richard Pryor actually was one of his mentors when he was coming up, and actually taught him how to be a comedian. And the thing about Bob Saget is everybody knows him from Danny Tanner. For me,
right,
Bob Saget was Ted Mosby's voice from How I Met Your Mother, which is still.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And also he hosted America's Funniest Home Videos for
like loved years. America. Actually, it's still on. But I mean,
years, and it was really like 10 years. But yeah, still on. I think Alfonso Ribero's the host now.
Yeah, that took over it. But I used to watch that like religiously as a kid. Thought it was hilarious.
You look like you laugh at people.
I look like it. What about you, son? No.
I'm not even gonna hold you. I laugh at people when they fall down the stairs. I laugh at people when I see them fall and trip. I'm not even gonna lie. When old people are rude to you and they fall, like, I don't want to see nobody die or go into the hospital. But when you fall, and yo, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm fat. You ever watch a fat person fall and they fall in slow motion?
Yeah, it is in slow motion, and it is hilarious. It's like
my best friend tells the story all the time about us coming in the house drunk one night and getting the meatloaf sandwich and going down to the basement. And me tripping down the stairs with the meatloaf sandwich in my hand, and I fell in fucking slow motion, twisting my whole ankle. But you know what? I saved that meatloaf sandwich.
That is some fat boy.
Lay down.
It's not for you. It is some fat. That's a fat boy story for real.
Let my fluff adorn you. That just tells you that I'm not gonna drop you if you fall in my arm.
Hold on. That's so funny.
Y'all gotta write that down. That's a line, yo.
So rest well, Bob Saget, and I'm sure everybody is starting to watch his stuff. In addition to, I feel like we didn't say it, the Golden Girl. But I've been seeing so many people watch Golden Girls now and kind of the replay. So go Full House. If their families get the royalties, help them out. Because he was only 65 years old. So I'm like, I don't know what happened.
He passed in his sleep, and that there's no signs of foul play. There's no signs of drug use or anything like that. And it's weird because if you look at his last post, he was really excited to be here because he had just performed in Jacksonville, and I believe he was going to Tampa next. So like he had a whole stand-up tour planned for 2022.
Oh, that is so strange. I just don't want to go. Let me know what's wrong with me. Don't just go to sleep and I'll wake up. Like, what happened? You want to be like, what happened? So
Betty White went in her sleep also.
She was 99.
Betty White was 99. Betty White was about to do that people joint. Betty White had some stuff.
But she was 99 and still kicking. So it was just like her body was like, listen, lady, you done lived your life. Like, you've had a great life. You've been here longer than the majority of people have withstand, especially as a celebrity.
Tell you what's funny is the conspiracy theorists are out here saying that Betty White, Bob Saget, and Sidney Poitier all died because they got the vaccine.
No.
Right.
I don't agree with that because
you know what? Let me say something about this, yo. I understand how people are against the vaccine. But so I had somebody, like, I was on the phone with somebody, it's a friend of mine, right? I'm not gonna say that person's name.
Mm-hmm.
And they're against the vaccine. This motherfucker had the audacity to be eating a Big Mac while he's telling me this shit. You don't know what the fuck is in that Big Mac. The Big Mac don't even go bad.
Horse.
But you want to take a vaccine.
You don't know what you're, and that's my thing. Like, y'all eating facts, make the choice. Now, I do know some people that didn't get it because their doctors advised their health is not in the best condition for them to get it. They said that, they going with their doctor, they trust their doctor, whatever. But then don't go out, like stay in the house, don't go nowhere because you don't want to put yourself in that situation. But for the people with all these conspiracy theories, of course, at the beginning, I had my reservations and was very nervous, but I'm like, either try to live or die immediately because I don't know what this is going to do to me, So it was like, I'm going to choose life even, and it doesn't mean like, and everybody's like, oh, you got the vaccine and all the people with vaccines are the one that's sick. And I'm like, because there's so many people that's not vaccinated, that's giving it to people with vaccine that are vaccinated. And we're still doing better than you. But it's, it's a big debate. And my thing is, do what's best for you, do you, but keep in mind, the more junk, I'm an avid believer that what we put in our body can affect whether we're healthy or illnesses can come. I believe certain forms of cancer comes from some of the things that we eat. I am a firm believer in that. And
Let's not go into that.
Well, I know, but you went into it. That's what happened.
I just want to make the statement because of people blaming that.
I'm just saying, like, it's a lot of theories out there, but all I can say is be safe, wear your mask, and cover up. Oh no, see, why'd you do this? Because I went to this place yesterday. On the door, it says you're required to wear a mask. Always that one person. Everybody in there had on masks. He didn't. And then the technician came out and she says, sir, you have to put on your mask. You have to have a mask. She gave him a mask. He took the mask and never put it on. That's disrespectful. Anyway, we are moving on.
No. So the IRS wants you to report that illegal activity that you out here doing.
Yo, first of all, they said, if you deal drugs and if you're a thief, you are required to let us know that income of the market value.
You need to put that shit on Schedule 1, Form 1040. So if you done pick somebody's pocket, I'm saying, if you done sold a couple keys, you know what I'm saying? If you've embezzled some money.
I feel like this is racist.
If you've done, it's not racist because if you think about it, if you've embezzled money, that's like a lot of the white billionaires out here.
You tell me this, who's gonna be like, yeah, I took $5,000 from Uncle Billy. Who?
Listen, if you go through that welfare line and you steal a little bit more cheese, you got to report that. Okay. If you working for that company and you
if you took somebody TV for Christmas and robbed them, or them Amazon boxes that y'all was just taking.
And I need y'all to know that this is really IRS guidelines now.
No, it's on IRS.gov.
They are telling you to please report your illegal activity for your taxes. You guys can't, let me say, listen, Uncle Sam, I know you've been on some bullshit lately, and son, you've ordered me. I hope you don't order me because I don't make enough money for you to order me. But fam, nobody's reporting that, dog. You know what I'm saying? If the lady in the checkout line give me an extra 10, I'm thanking the Lord because that's the Lord's blessing. The Lord wanted me to have that 10.
Y'all don't listen. Don't follow his footsteps.
You want me to report
his footsteps?
God don't make no mistakes.
Don't follow his footsteps, please.
I'm not reporting the extra $10. You know what I'm saying? I'm not reporting the muffins that my man put in my Instacart order that I ain't paid for, that I told Instacart that I ain't paid for.
Sometimes Instacart don't give me my stuff. Somebody said that. Somebody said, so how about the people that stole from me? Can I claim them as dependents?
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of people for me to claim. Moving on. This past weekend, actually, quietly, because the Golden Globes were actually not televised, history was made when Michaela J. Rodriguez, goes by MJ, was actually the first ever transgender actor to win the Golden Globe Award. Rodriguez actually won the award for Best Actress as Bianca Evangelista in Pose, which actually ended its run recently. I've heard a lot of people say that they love Pose.
I've heard it was good, but I've never
seen it. Also, Will Smith won for his role as Richard Williams in the biopic King Richard. Now, what you have to remember is with the Golden Globes, a lot of times, this is like the precursor to the Oscars. So a lot of times, most people who win those Golden Globe Awards, they go on to win Oscars for those roles also, from the history, from what I've seen. So definitely want to shout them out. Congratulations to them both. That's definitely record setting. I wish we could have seen that on TV, especially the LGBTQ community. They would have loved to have been able to see that representation on television, because so many people are still out here just showing.
Right, but I totally understand why the Golden Globes did not air, because they normally don't give people their flowers.
Yeah, they don't. Golden Globes be on that bullshit. It's run by a whole bunch
of there's so many people that should have received it. So I think that they were like, listen, let's do this. Let's do the transgender, let's do this African American, to show that we do believe in inclusion. But I am happy for both of them winning that Golden Globe. Let's see what they change next year. Will deserves it. As Pose had a few seasons, I believe. Pose
was immensely popular, actually.
Yeah, I think I watched like the first episode and I was like, I'm a binge watcher. So I was just like, let me wait. I'm gonna come back to this.
We're not even getting into the story about you and your binge watching habits, but okay, cool.
It's only started in the pandemic, just to let you know.
I'm not even gonna bring it up. You were slacking. But that's definitely a wonderful opportunity. I definitely hope to see Will Smith get that Oscar. He's been all over the place this year, and his book is actually good. I'm actually doing the audio book version of it. So far, I have not read that book. It's filled with a lot more stuff than Jada Pinkett Smith and his relationship. So
it's more about him.
Yeah, that's what people are just, they talk too much, whatever. But yeah.
At the end of the day, when you get 50 and you've been acting since you were a teenager, wouldn't you have a long story to tell? Like, so people kill me with that.
People started hearing about his relationship.
But you hadn't heard about his relationship in so long until that red table talk started happening. So it's like, let them live. At this point, she may say too much and we may not want to know, but y'all want to know about every other celebrity relationship and who not dating who and who's having babies by them. So whatever.
So moving on to our first major story, the shocking death for me of Sidney Poitier, just passed away on January 6th. Amazing man, first African American and first Bahamian man to win the Academy Award for Best Actor. He received 2 Golden Globes. I believe he has a British Academy Film and Television Awards. He has a Grammy for Best Spoken Word Album, which I did not know.
No, but I did know he had a spoken word album. I didn't know he got a Grammy for it.
Yeah, and then in '99 he actually got the Lifetime Achievement Award also, which
I remember that. You remember that?
Yeah, that's the same year that Denzel won.
Right.
For Training Day, I believe.
Right. And then he introduced him for that Lifetime. Yeah.
So this amazing man Shakira, what do you feel is gonna be his lasting legacy?
Ooh. You know, he was an overall great entertainer and highly educated. You know, not just I do believe we'll probably see a documentary or some sort of the life of Sidney Poitier. I do believe that there'll be a movie coming out.
I think I could play young Sidney Poitier. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Keep going.
But he's done so. He's been like he passed away at 94, so he's lived an ultimate life, and he's been acting since the 50s. So you know, he's born like so. I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, I think he lived a great life, and I think that if nothing else, people should use him as a study.
Yeah.
You know, to study his work if you're trying to be an actor or get into entertainment, to study his path, because he was one that even Denzel considered to be a mentor and a guide. And look at Denzel, most people want to be Denzel. So sometimes it's important to go back to the greats, because he's worked with Richard Pryor. He's worked with so many great people that have long that are legends, you know, whether they're gone. I think that my favorite piece, it will always be, because I've read the book and I watched the movie, Raising the Sun is my favorite. And I know most people be like, but he did so much after that, which he did, but you had to really like, I don't know, you had to, I love movies that make you think. I do.
So I love Sidney Poitier. My mom is a big fan, so I've seen a lot of his movies. Raising the Sun is amazing. Walter Lee, you can never get enough of. I loved him in They Call Me Mr. Tibbs, when he slapped my man in the face in the joint.
And Shoot to Kill.
For me, it's always gonna be
what?
Uptown Saturday Night.
Okay.
Uptown Saturday Night for me is one of the films that made me fall in love with just being a creative and performing.
Right.
I know everyone is down on Bill Cosby right now, but to not only know how that film came together, but to, you know, because I'm a historian. I like to read that kind of stuff. But to read everything about it and then to watch the film and to know, like, this is like an acting legend.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
absolutely
dramatic, but he could go into the comedic realm and own that shit. And to me, that was just amazing. To me, Sidney Poitier is everything. If you've gotten a chance to read many of his books, I would definitely suggest reading his books. But for me, it's always going to be Uptown Saturday Night, and They Call Me Mr. Tibbs. Of course, you also have Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. You know what I mean?
That was excellent.
Many films, and to think of back, you know, the time back then, for him to break so many barriers at a time where he was not supposed to be doing those
things. That's exactly what he did. He was a barrier breaker, especially being a Black man.
Yeah.
On film, where we didn't get a lot of play. They barely, you know, he literally had to earn his spot, and he worked for it, and he outperformed so many of co-stars because of that, because he studied the craft and he studied whatever character he was in. So we will miss Sidney Poitier because he was a true legend, and we know legends never really die. But if you haven't, definitely sit and just watch some of his, magnificent acting.
Well, the funny thing is, and I was doing a little research on this, and I want to read you something, because I was studying. For me, he's always going to be considered an ambassador, but he was a groundbreaker. And one of the biggest things was, and guess who's coming to dinner? So the film was one of the few films at that time that showed interracial marriage, and it showed it in, you know, a positive light. So I did not know that it was still illegal in over 20 states when they were filming it. So they were saying that about 2 weeks before the film actually stopped shooting, the anti-miscegenation law, which is the law that enforced racial segregation at the level of marriage and intimate relationships, was struck down by the Supreme Court in Loving versus Virginia right after the filming.
Yeah. Like, have you seen Loving?
I haven't.
You do have to see that. You're right.
But to know that, you know, that the film, they say the film was a great advocate as far as how people depicted interracial marriages and interracial relationships after the fact, even with all that going on, to me is magical. And then to know that, you know, he was able to go on and, you know, do so much more stuff. I mean, he was granted a knighthood from Queen Elizabeth. I mean, he received the Cecil B. DeMille Award. He got the Kennedy Center honor. He was the Bahamian ambassador to Japan. He was the ambassador to the UNESO. He's the number 22 ranked actor on the 100 Years, 100 Stars list by the American Film Institute. He's received the Screen Actors Guild Life Achievement Award. Like, the one thing I love is the fact that he was able to receive his flowers while he was here. I would love for us to begin to celebrate those who are still prospering in that same manner, because for me to even be a fan of Sidney Poitier, there was a lot of this stuff that I didn't know. And like, to find out after his death, like, I'm guilty of that.
But you can't really be guilty, because some of the stuff it happened so fast, and then we were younger, you know, as well. So it's like, but I feel like sometimes that's the thing that this generation miss, is not studying the people that came before us. You know, because a lot of times we do. I didn't realize all of these awards and honors, but I did know he was loved around the world. But it's just sometimes you're so focused on what you got going on that it's like, if this is where you want to go, it's important to understand that, because you can follow, you can do it too.
And I didn't know he dated one of the baddest women ever on the planet, Diane Carroll. But I think
I did know that.
I think that was an affair, so I don't
so beautiful.
I don't want to, but dang, like, shout out to Sidney Poitier.
But Sidney Poitier was fine. He was a fine Black man.
I said, I'm trying to be out here for the Jones, like,
so of course he got hurt. So
we'll just Poitier, and I'm gonna go out here and I'm like, they call me Mr. Wilderness. And then gonna fly.
Okay, moving on.
You are a hater, bro. I'm telling you. Yo, when me and Tracy Ellis Ross is married, bro, and we together and we loving on each other, yo, we ended the podcast at that point. I'm like, yo, I can't work with somebody who's gonna hate on me like this. But moving on.
Unfortunately, we gotta talk about another loss. So sorry for the back-to-back losses, because we really don't try to make this show to talk about the passings of all these, but we also like to keep you up to date and kind of, you know, have the same sentiment. So this one is near and dear to my heart. Someone that I also didn't know a lot of all the things that he did, because I was like another sibling, another child of his. So when you know, it's crazy when you know a celebrity on a personal level, sometimes you don't know everything on their career wise. And I'm talking about James Mtume, aka Mtume. Everybody knows the infamous Juicy Fruit, the breaking barrier of him getting into hip hop when Notorious B.I.G. first used it. then Keisha Cole used it, then Neo used it, and there's so many others that have used it because it's just that one of those legendary beats. I think he said like maybe over 25, 35 artists have used Juicy Fruit as a sample, probably more than that. He passed away on January 9th. It's so funny because his family knew that he was going to make it to his birthday. His birthday was January 3rd. And everybody, I sent, we all did like a personal birthday video. It was probably like 2 hours, but it was people from his band. And, he got a chance to watch it before he passed. And that was important because we didn't know the time or the hour. But just to talk about who he was the son of the jazz. He comes from a jazz background, the son of a jazz saxophone, Jimmy Heath. They're known as the Heath Brothers. If people are in jazz, they would know who the Heath Brothers are. They're very big. They've been all over the world. Those are his father. It was his father and his uncles whose group it was. And they, New York, Japan, all over. And then from there, he's originally from Philly, of course.
Hey, what up?
So he's originally from Philly, and then he moved to Jersey, but he met his wife in California. She's from California. And it's crazy because they've been married for like 54 years. Like they've been married since she was 17. So life is of course going to be a lot different, but I'm not going to go on a long drawn out, but I do want to know, let people know, like he joined, I don't know if you know who the nationalist or the cultural nationalist organization is. It's called US. And so his original last name is Foreman. It's not Mtume. He changed his name because it was part of the movement of the nationalists, and they were adopting Swahili names. So all of his kids have African names, and then him and his wife had changed their last name to Mtume, and that's how that name came about. He was a percussionist for Miles Davis for several years. So Miles Davis, Duke Ellington, all the jazz greats he's been a part of. But it was crazy to see the outpour of how much people loved him. Yeah. Because I seen Teddy Riley say, that was his uncle. I seen Jordan, what's his name? This Is How We Do It. Montel Jordan. I seen so many different DJs and bloggers and so many people saying how they work with him. He worked on New York. He did the soundtrack for New York Undercover. So when New York Undercover was on, all the artists that were on, that was all him. He did the engineering for it. He made sure that he stayed relevant. And just like we talked about with Sidney Poitier is, like owning your craft, but he always made sure that as the time moves, you move with the time. You don't have to be extinct and outdated. He was the wisest man I ever know, because he will kick knowledge all day and tell you about every artist. Like my friend used to say, yeah, we grew up having like all the funk artists used to just like live in their basement. And it was just crazy. But the reality is sometimes you grow up and you're like, I don't know him as this. I only know him as the father. When I come in the house, I got to make sure I got some beer. You can't come in the house if you ain't got no Heineken. You can't, you got to come with something. And I just appreciate the greatness of what he did. He had his own radio show on WBLS. It was called Open Mic, and they talked about community initiatives. He was very much into community activism, and making sure that, the next generation was prepared for the future. And a lot of times we don't do that because, sometimes artists come and they go and then they just drown out. But he has spent his whole life being an activist in some way, shape, or form, whether initially it started with music, but it always then transcended into the community, the people, the Black people. They celebrate Kwanzaa, so it's always been a celebration every single year, except in these last 2 years due to pandemic. So I'm hoping, I don't know what this year's gonna look like, because he was a pillar to the family. I say all that to say, he did TED Talks. So if anybody's on YouTube, look for him. He did a TED Talk just like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, talking about the music. And I just want to say, he will be missed. He also did Roberta Flack. He did Stephanie Mills. He did Phyllis Hyman, which Will was playing.
I think
You Know How to Love Me.
I think that's amazing that, like, you know, I've always been a fan of the group, but to know that, like, the songs that, like, I sing on a daily basis, like, I was in here vibing to, like, You Know How to Love Me, like, before, you know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to make sure that, you know, I could at least, you know, speak knowledgeably about him, which I also found out that he was part of the first group that celebrate Kwanzaa.
Yes. And I've met, like, the person who started with him one year. We went to California, and he was so it's a whole ceremony. One day I hope you get to experience, but it's amazing. And it's they started it. He's all about black on black, and celebrating who we are as a people. And he did, what else did he do? He did Donny Hathaway. Yeah, he did The Closer I Get to You, which is one of my favorites. And then Back Together Again. That was a good one. He did that. Never Knew Love Like This Before by Stephanie Mills. So it's been.
He's got hits. He's got hits for days. He definitely, you know, very appreciative of the fact that, you know, number one, you know, you're from Philly. You know, anybody from Philly, you know what I'm saying? That's hometown, that's family. You know, Philly always making it. Everybody else always trying to take it. You know what I'm saying? New Jersey want to be us, whatever. But, you know, it's always beautiful to see the amazing things that come out of the city, and then to read up about him, and to, you know, I watched a couple of interviews and hearing the things that people said about him, and it's just like, you know,
you realize how much of an impact a person has had on other people's lives. And I've known him since I was 13.
And you said that before, and when we talked about it before, and I never put two and two together when you said it.
Right, since I was 13. So it's like, shoot, that's over 20 plus years of being in his presence, being at birthday parties, family functions, and knowing the greatness of who he was and is, like Sam was, is amazing. And the things that he has left his family and his grandchildren and kids, they will always be solid, because the foundations that, like, he was always the person you go to for everything. Did you ask? You know, he's the first person that when I got my audio engineering degree, I came back and he was like, okay, let's go to the radio station. We went to New York, took me to the radio station, tried to give me an internship. The lady really just wanted to get something from him. But I, you know, like him to do a show or a new show or something like that, I didn't get the internship. But I will say he was the type of person that would take out the time. And if he recognized you wanted to do something, he'll help you get there.
We can only pray to be, you know, that kind of person,
right?
And to leave that kind of legacy behind. So I mean, you know, with you knowing him, I would love to hear how you know, everybody else is going to say, you know, oh, well, this is who he was. To you, as someone who was close to him and having grown up there, what is going to be the lasting legacy that you will want the world to know about him?
Ooh. that it's really all about continuing to elevate yourself. If that's something I've never taken from anybody, for him, like, he's the strongest person I know. Like, he'll probably curse you out in 2.5 seconds and don't care at all. If he needed to, like, put you in your place, if he needed to do that. But don't worry about what everybody else doing. Stay focused on what you're doing. Like, that's what I always took from him, was like, none of these people matter. Like, he never looked like, oh, I got competition or anything like that. It was like, I'm in my lane. I'm creating my music. I'm producing this. I'm going to get the job done. And so I think that that's the biggest thing, is like, always elevate and move with the times. Just like now we're in the social media world. And sometimes I do feel like, dang, can I catch up? But it's like, move with the times. And if you can't, find somebody that'll move with you with the times, so that you're never gonna, you're never going to doubt yourself. One thing, he was a very confident man and very persistent when he wanted something done. And I think that if nothing else, is like, sometimes we doubt ourselves and that we can't do anything. And the reality is, nobody else matters, because you are your own person and people are going to always want you. You just got to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So, keep playing his songs so his family can continue to get those royalties. Keep sharing, keep loving, and just, he was all about peace, community peace, love, and family. And so I will continue and forever to take that with me.
Very well said. Very well said. Well, this has been another super dope, amazing episode. Man, we lost a lot of people already in 2022.
2022 has been like,
just live, man. Just live and be happy, yo. You know what I'm saying? Ask that person out. You know what I'm saying? Take that ride.
Ask that person out.
I mean, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like this life is so short, and it's just, nothing is guaranteed. You know what I mean? I always say keep the main thing, and that's always going to be what I want to leave people with. But I really do want to stress, you really did have a dream before you had a job. So if you're going into this year, and we all got our vision boards and our new everything this year, take that chance this year. I want to send a shout out to one of my best friends, actually, and I won't put her out there, but is definitely taking the steps right now to
awesome.
Step out and live like her goals, and
kudos to you. To her.
Yeah, so and to all my other friends out there that are doing what they're doing, I just always want to say I'm proud of you guys. Shakira, I'm proud of you, because your journey this past year has been crazy. I'm Not 20 No More podcast is really about to be popping off, and we got some amazing things coming. We're actually going to start shooting these live on Facebook so that people can respond in. I'm waiting to. The perfectionist in me is working on it. It's not Shakira. The perfectionist in me is working on it. So we're just going to start giving you this content. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you subscribe to it. I hope you love it. This is from my heart. This is a dream that I've always wanted. I don't want to fear anymore sharing my dreams, because what's for me is for me regardless. You know what I'm saying? So you either with me or you're just going to watch. And when they tell my E True Hollywood story and they tell Shakira's, you're just not going to be a part of it. But definitely thank you for being a part of this episode with us. And if you watch this up to this point, we appreciate you, and we hope you continue to watch and support. Subscribe, like, and share. I'm just gonna be right here. I promise you. Subscribe, like, and share, and we hope you'll be back with us for the the next dinner time episode of What You Gumbo.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for being a part of the culture. And we look forward to our next episode. Y'all have a good night.